thing I get asked all the time is what is my workout plan? So today I'm going to be taking you guys through my exact workout plan and trying to give you some tips on what I look at to try and make progress week to week. Hopefully this will give you some insight into how you can set up and design your own plan so you can make some good gains. So let's get right into it. So right now I'm doing a push-pull legs split, and then I do handstand training probably 4 to 5 times a week, just trying to add it in, sprinkle it in everywhere, because as much as I can be doing that, it will help me with my handstands. This is what works best for my schedule right now, but I've experimented with everything, full body, upper lower days, all the different kind of stuff in the past. I wouldn't say that there's anything specific that totally like blows one of the other ones out of the water. It's just gonna be whatever works best for you is probably gonna make you the best progress. And another really important thing to pay attention to is what are your goals for training. For me, I'm working towards the front lever pull-up. So that's something that I'm really prioritizing with my training. Same thing with my pushing days. I'm really trying to get better at the handstand push-up. So that's kind of like the overarching main focus of what my training is. You definitely should have goals for your training. It'll make it a lot easier to train. So for my pull days, I've been doing band assisted front lever holds. I'm holding those for pretty much as long as I can and going a little bit past technical failure. Right after that, I get into band assisted front lever pull-ups, and I really like this exercise. That's something that's totally underrated, is having an exercise that you just absolutely love. You just feel super strong doing this, and it always makes me happy to do my pull days. So that's a good tip for you guys. Make sure that you're doing exercises that you like, because I would say that might be more effective than doing like the most optimal exercise for your goal. Just doing something you like, it's gonna be a lot easier to push yourself hard, and you're gonna really enjoy your training. Super underrated. So those are the 2 main exercises that I do for pulling, and you want to make sure that these first 2 exercises are in line with whatever your goals are. Now my next few exercises that I do for pulling are supporting that main goal. So I'm doing a single arm row, and it's kind of like an arch row or arch pull. I'm pulling towards my waist, and this gets a really good pump. I'm doing this for a little bit higher number of reps, and then I'm supersetting it or just combining it with 1 arm ring curls. Just like a nice little combo, and it gets a super good pump in your lats and then in your biceps. I think it goes really well together. And then the last thing that I'm doing for my pull days is something called a scap arch pull, and that's just to kind of get my middle back, my scapula, all of that kind of stuff working and feeling healthy. So trying to progress with this stuff is pretty straightforward, I would say. You're just trying to add reps, trying to add sets, or trying to get better form or doing the movement slower. Specifically for my front lever training on my pull days, I'm just trying to up the total number of seconds that I'm doing a front lever. So if I just add up all the seconds in between all my sets and look at that number, I'm just trying to increase that week to week. That's a super simple way of looking at your total volume, and I'm only really trying to progress in that first exercise that I'm doing. That's the thing that's most important for me to track. That's why I keep track of it on my phone. Yeah. That's my plan. It looks like, okay, I know it looks like a mess, but you should be keeping some type of log. This is a great tip for making sure you're progressing, is keeping a log of that stuff, tracking your total weekly volume and trying to increase that a little bit as much as you can week to week. I also keep notes of if I'm not feeling good, or if I have an injury, or if I make some changes to whatever I'm doing, so I can kind of look back and get an idea of where I was seeing progress and where I'm not. The rest of my exercise days kind of follow this same plan, where I'm doing 2 main really difficult exercises, and then I have an accessory movement in there for my arms or something like that. And then I'm also doing a higher rep, easier-ish movement that gives me a good pump. So let's really quickly show you the format of how I'm doing that on my push days. I'm doing bent arm press to handstands, and the only real difference that I'm doing with these is that I'm doing like an every minute on the minute type of style, because it's a little bit too difficult for me to do these a bunch in one set. So what I do is just break it down into doing a bunch of singles and aiming for as many as I could do. And once I can't do any more, I'll start doing some pike push-ups just so I get some volume in that first movement. But again, pushing super hard on my first exercise. My second exercise is also definitely hard, but those are gonna be pseudo planche push-ups. Not the most important thing for me to get better at right now. It's not in line with my goals. So I'm just doing those, I guess, for health. I don't know. So after those two hard main exercises, I do a kind of lighter, pumpier exercise, which is dumbbell presses. Do, I don't know, 15 or 20 pounds, I think it is, for about 15 to 20 reps. That makes my shoulders feel a lot healthier, because if I was just doing super hard exercises for my shoulders, it would get really achy, is the best word that I could use for that. Doing an accessory move for my triceps, just because it falls in line with like that push leg type of stuff. And then I'm doing a planche dumbbell hold at the end with a nice stretch or like a chest fly afterwards. And that's just for some conditioning for my biceps and to make sure that my chest is also getting used outside of that just pushing area or just over my head. Get some use of my chest in a fully open state. As far as my leg training goes, this is probably my least structured of all of my training. I do Nordic curl attempts for 10 to 20 reps. I don't know, I just kind of play around with Nordics because they're fun and they're really difficult. And then I do assisted pistol squats because they feel good, but when I do them unassisted on my left knee, I get some knee pain. So usually just doing them with a little bit of stability so I don't hurt myself. And then the rest of my leg training is just all around flexibility, mobility, all that kind of stuff. To be honest, I haven't been working out my legs that much in the past few months. I got poison ivy pretty bad all over my legs, so that was a good excuse not to train. But hey, I could still do Nordics. I don't know why, I'm just genetically gifted in my hamstrings. Of all places, it couldn't be with my front lever or with some crazy planche stuff. It had to be Nordics. Whatever. Something I thought was really funny is this was actually the first video that I did about a year ago, and if you watch that video, it's really cringy. It's really cringy. I wouldn't suggest watching it. I mean, if you want to, you can. I wasn't even planning on making that video. The first little clip that you see of me is picking up the camera and kind of scaredly forcing myself to talk to it. And now I'm a year later, feeling completely different about talking to a camera. I don't really care, which is crazy. So I hope that helped you out. If you like this video, make sure to hit that like button, hit subscribe if you want to see the next video, and yeah, have a good day. I'll see you guys around. Peace.